walking on my head.
The little fat kid is my uncle. He choked me to death.
Whenever anybody says they're a little concerned, they're very concerned.
So what? What's wrong with being sexy?
Gonna wiggle it just a little bit.
Before, take me away. Hello.
Let me clear my throat.
Let me clear my throat. What a lick, what a show. Hello and welcome.
Who farted?
The 20 at 21. Chip, my big boy. Chip. Chip. This must happen for Chip. Nothing can stop. I'm sorry, I'm still doing Batman Returns. Robbie, we're still rocking the same shirt. He said he was going to do it, folks. He's doing it, baby.
We just wanted to make sure the fans knew that the coughs were not fake.
Yeah, those are real. God, I'm sorry.
Fake it on this show.
We are actually unhealthy.
That is a thing.
I
was looking to see if we had any.
I got a good old dog underneath the table here. It's getting his old ears scratched, and that's not too bad.
I got you.
Not metaphorically, not in any euphemistic way. There's actually a friendly old critter over here.
It's old Rufus.
That's right.
Well, speaking of friendly old things, we got a sponsor. We like to usually start off.
Yeah, who's sponsoring us
By the way,
this
this is 2021. You can hear us on WDBX 91.1 or wherever podcasts are found. Let's get to one of our sponsors here. 2021, sponsored in part today by people who litter their yards with political signs. We know how important it is for you to let the world know that you are indeed on the wrong side of history. But there are a few things you need to keep in mind. If you have a large sign that reads, Pritzker sucks, you should be aware that that sign will draw attention to your house. And by house, I mean the two trailers that you've welded together in an L shape to form even more surface for the tornado to grab.
Double deckers, my favorite.
That's right. I'm not sure what you're upset about. The stimulus package he gave you is more money than you made since '88.
And the state actually has a budget to operate on.
That's right. A Trump flag in the yard's like a DNA test. There's 99.9% no education. And this isn't just for you righties. This is also for you people that still have your Obama, Biden, yes we can stickers. You don't get to do that either. I got bad. No, yes you can. Bad news. No, you can't.
Really not.
And while we're at it, stop telling me how many children you have in your van and how cute they are and what you're into. I don't care how many kids you have in your van. It makes me no less likely you're going to crash into you. I don't want to crash into you in the first place.
Well,
I don't care if you got kids or not.
That's right. Yeah, I wasn't going to do it to begin with.
Yeah, I was planning on just mashing cars today until I saw the sticker.
I saw that. I was thinking about getting me one of them stickers for my minivan, though, and that was like less conspicuous.
But
like make one of the kids like one of the tripping bears or something.
There you go. You couldn't get you're like a serial killer. You have to give yourself away a little bit.
Right, yeah, just like,
Anyway, political signs. Are you trying to drive away customers from your tree trimming service?
Yes.
Want to really isolate neighbors and friends and let the world know how dumb and uninformed you are?
Absolutely.
Put a political sign in your yard.
Today.
Want to be a king? If you want to be a king of the dum-dums, fly a flag. All right.
Eastwood, don't you have a sign out in front of your house?
Yes, I do. It's right there.
Presidents come and go, but Wu-Tang is forever.
That's right. That's what it says. Presidents come and go, but Wu-Tang is
I'm
forever.
behind that.
That's right. And Wu-Tang, as you know, Wu-Tang, that's right, is something you don't F with.
Hard to argue with.
As a white man says, oh, Wu-Tang, I heard you don't F with them.
You do not F with the Wu-Tang.
I heard there's an inspector in there who's a deck. I heard there's a killer who's a ghost face. He's got a face of a ghost.
There's some man who has a method to his madness.
He's a method. There's an old dirty bastard that hangs out with them. Do not F with these guys. Charlize, don't F with them. We're going to get in trouble.
Wasn't going to.
Remember that scene in Well, it's the same scene in both Vacation and
He's got a porker.
what's the De Palma Bonfire of the Vanity scene? Have you seen that movie?
Could never
It's
go
been
home
so
again.
long
It's
since I've seen that movie.
Melanie Griffith and
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
Harrison Ford.
Bruce, goddamn Willis. Bruce
Dern.
Willis. They basically break down. It's the same scene from Vacation. They
Right.
break down in East St. Louis essentially,
Right.
and they're like, all these black folk gonna kill us.
Right.
And it's just horribly done. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Way worse. Look, it's gonna be. We should watch Bonfire of the Vanities.
No
It's,
way, man. I don't know. I'm
should
not
we?
around here. You can ask my cousin. He's just up the street.
It put De Palma in movie jail. Like it's a bad movie. Hey, we're not doing a movie today. We're doing one of the best
Something
shows
better.
ever. Something better. God, yeah, it's better than what we've been watching. Even though this first episode, not my favorite, but it's got some moments that I absolutely.
Yeah.
Neither one of these were like. I didn't have to endure.
Exactly.
You know, there was
There's
one
nothing-
I think in the last couple episodes where it was like I think I like texted you and it was like it took me 3 hours to get through
Sure.
that.
The
45
Shelley
minutes.
episode?
Yeah,
Shelley
that was
episode's
it.
always
Yeah,
rough.
yeah. It was like
No, this one was it was solid. Both of them had great endings. Perfect Northern. Let's see. Number one is a hunting. We will go. Interesting episode. Chris is on the radio. He's talking about great story about his Uncle Roy Bauer, which comes back. He'll talk about him quite a bit.
Right.
And about throw the boy in the truck. We're going hunting, and he tells this whole story, and then takes him back. And him and Holling are going hunting. The last hunt of the year. Holling with his.
will only use a camera.
That's right. Holling with his
Yeah.
camera, Chris with his Winchester. As he's saying this, Maggie drives through with a dead deer in the little
Giant.
town. Giant
Beast.
Another reason I love this show, you can actually see people in the town outside the window, whoever's talking, like they are there.
and there goes Maggie down Main Street.
Yeah, with looks like a 10-point buck. Way to go, Maggie.
Yeah, right. Yes.
That's very relatable coming from around here where people just, wear their dead deer on the top of their truck for half a day.
Yes. Yeah.
Maggie yells at Flashman. This made me mad. He says, look at those antlers. And she says, so we call it a rack, Flashman. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, Maggie, it's the same freaking thing. Why don't you lay off?
I know. I kind of wanted him to go, I like your rack. Hello.
Let's get Maryland to get a little. It's my new thing.
I'm
I want
going to say this.
So question.
I have to get, hang on. I have to
Yeah,
get this
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I have been noticing, and maybe I noticed it once and now I can't stop. Maggie doesn't wear a bra, like ever. Have you noticed this? It caught me an
Usually
episode or
not.
two
Sometimes
ago.
she will, depending on what
But
she's
I'm
wearing.
noticing
usually
most of
not.
the time when she's out and about in town, she has no. And that's got to be a character choice, that she does.
Well, I tell you.
her
So
own-
let's.
yeah.
I think we need to
Character choice because Tim Burton showed up on the set one day. He was Ryan that Lord, let's get Maggie that bra off. Get
Well, I
that
think we
purple
need to get some questions that we try to answer at the end. So one of them
Okay,
could be
I like this.
does or how often does Maggie wear a bra?
Okay.
Okay.
But here's mine. My question for submission is Marilyn mean?
Is she mean?
Mean.
Yeah, and like I said, not the question for today because we've got a lot of show to go. But we make a lot of assumptions. Marilyn doesn't seem mean. Marilyn seems nice. We like Marilyn.
I don't think.
But is Marilyn mean?
Well, it's okay. So either
Right.
she could be mean. She could come off as mean, especially if you're from Fleischman's point of view sometimes. And there's going to be more of that.
That's what I'm saying.
Of
Well,
that kind of
there's-
standoffish, like I'm not going to tell you. You can keep asking me, blah blah blah.
Right.
Or just
Isn't there some
Sly
trip
little-
episode where Marilyn gets a little down the road?
So here's part of my.
We've got more
So
Marilyn
you
to
guys-
see. I guess
I was
is
gonna
my
say,
point,
This thing,
right?
remember, I don't know anything.
Right.
So
So
the
I
only
think
thing
Marilyn
I can
is just
say is-
honest to a fault.
Okay.
Okay,
So the
that
only
may be
thing I
it.
can think of is the next episode, which we're not to yet.
Mm-hmm.
But that dinner scene with her family to
Yes.
me tells me everything about her I need to know.
Okay.
And
Yeah, it's
so
a great scene.
I think she's just
It has to be her-
quiet and
it has to
kinda
be her
just-
real
you
mom,
kinda
right?
keep your.
It has to be a real mom.
It seems. Oh, in real life,
Yeah.
yes. You just kind of keep things to yourself.
Yeah.
So
well,
I
like I
don't
said,
know.
question for the end of the
But,
series, though.
yes,
right?
Yeah, I think
yes,
so.
This could be a much
where
broader
I'm
question.
right. That's
Will
where I'm.
Fleischman
yeah.
evolve? He's already starting to a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's starting to evolve.
Who's that man? Anyway, okay. West Virginia, Maggie's got the deer. So I like that Joel. I love that Joel starts going around asking people, like their opinions about this. So what's
Yeah.
up with this?
Right.
And everybody kind of gives him a different answer. And I love Holling's answer is, I'd rather get my brains blown out in the wild than wait in fear at the slaughterhouse.
Right.
So I was
right.
like, hey, all right, Holland. Chris says there's nothing like putting the brakes on something that's moving.
Can I just say something real quick about him?
Yeah.
When they try to macho him up, it never works for me.
Oh, really?
Never does.
Was his hunting and
I don't know if it's.
the hog riding?
It just doesn't work. His
Okay.
philosophic, artsy, that stuff works. The actor, I think, is
Yeah.
what. But when he's trying to, he
Well, I
comes
think-
off as like over the top butch.
Yeah. It feels forced.
And I don't. Yes, I was
Yeah.
going to say he
Yeah.
is not naturally that guy.
Correct.
His charisma is not that.
Right.
The,
Right.
the outlaw
Right.
bad
Right.
boy.
Yes.
It could. There's a little, but it's not enough to have that as a
Right.
character trait,
Right.
which they try to make a character
Right.
trait.
Yes.
So I get that. It's like Koppel wants us to watch this. He wants, the show to watch this
God.
movie called Beyond the Law with Charlie Sheen from 1994.
I've seen it. He becomes an undercover FBI agent. It's based on a true story.
That's right. It
Yeah.
looks like a big pile of crap.
It's actually better than you. Well, I haven't seen it since I was a freshman in college.
Well, okay.
I remember thinking it's not as bad as I thought it was.
The
gonna
makeup
be.
looks great.
Can't be any.
Sheen looks great.
Can't no major league guarantee that.
No, absolutely not.
We wear caps and sleeves at this level.
California penal.
Yeah.
So Joel,
So yeah, I'm not trying to like poo-poo on the show. It's
Sure,
just, when he's like, he seems like a dork. He's like, got his gun, talking about shooting something.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
This is not working.
it could be that. I get what you're saying. I guess I've seen it so many times. I've been brainwashed by it. But I guess it works because I know about his history and his family and hunting with his dads.
right.
And, all the
Yeah.
stories he tells. Joel wants to go. He changes his mind. He says, "I'm right. Maggie was right." And then we got Ed at Ruth-Anne's. And Joel gets that buck knife. Boy, he gets really excited about it. That's right. He's like, I had one of these when I was a kid.
To eviscerate him quickly.
That's right.
Oh my god, it's so great.
Oh, Ruth-Anne tells her what he likes about. That's what she likes about hunting,
Skinning 'em.
skinning the animal.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Jesus, Ruth-Anne.
Yeah. She's
Psycho
she's
killer.
brutal. Yeah.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Okay. Ed's with Ruth-Anne. She's hurt her leg somehow.
Yes.
And you see this sweet scene where Ed's making her supper, and he's got some movies for them to watch. He's picked out a couple movies, and Ed finds out how old she is, and you can see him freak out immediately.
Yep.
She's 75 years old, and Ed's like, "Whoa!" And he doesn't really freak out until she tells him that her sister-in-law just died, and she was 71.
Right.
So
Right.
Ed's like, "Uh-oh." The innocence of Ed sometimes is almost too
Yeah.
much to believe.
No, right.
Yeah.
That he doesn't understand life. So then we got Hollings leaving. He's so worried about leaving Shelley. Shelley's got him. I don't like to say this, but Shelley's got him. Like he cannot go. He cannot leave the freaking house. And I'm with him. I don't want to leave my house either. I don't want to go camping. Are you kidding me? You guys ever go camping?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah, all the time.
I wouldn't go. You couldn't make me go camping.
No. Camping
Well,
sounds-
I was gonna say, I was gonna say I'd had you
camp.
camping. I thought I'd had you camping before, but we just drank beer in the woods. I think
Yes,
it's what that boiled down to. Yeah.
I'll
And
put
I
a
passed
tent out.
or
I put a
something.
tent out here, and we hang out there in the in the summertime with the kid. But have a nice fire. But then you know what? I can come back inside
Yeah.
when it's time to go to
When I was a
sleep.
kid,
I
we
get that
camped
too.
in the backyard. We
Yeah.
ran extension cords and we hooked up the Nintendo and we played
Oh,
Nintendo.
nice.
Me and Rolly and people like that. We played Nintendo.
Yeah,
That's
we
fun.
just get to do that back half.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure. That's like all the best parts of both.
Yeah, but no, I'm not camping.
So they go. Let's see here. Now I wrote down that Ruth-Anne talks about Cherry Garcia. This is not the first time we're going to hear Cherry Garcia in the show.
I didn't even realize Cherry Garcia was a thing at
It
this
had to have
time.
just been getting going.
I'm
right?
telling you, it comes back several times.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
in Northern.
Jerry died in 94,
95.
5. So
Okay.
then we're 92ish, 3ish. So I mean, it had to have been.
Yeah, I guess I
Yeah,
wasn't aware
yeah.
of Ben and Jerry's that much
Oh, yeah.
yet. Is
So
what I'm
as-
getting
I
at.
had
I
to
remember
make-
mom
you.
and dad would buy
Yeah.
New York super whatever, because mom liked white chocolate and it had white chocolate in it. New York super fudge or something like that. The point is, I just didn't know about this stuff. That's what I'm getting.
Right.
But yes, it was so blatant.
Now,
Cherry Garcia.
as they're out on the hunting trip, Chris and Holly and Joel, Chris is reading a book. It was driving me crazy. I couldn't hardly tell it. I don't know how you figured it out, Shark. If it was from the cover,
No, it was Robbie. Robbie
oh,
sleuth
you?
that.
I thought it was Shark. You figured it out.
So what I did
From
is
the caves
I
and-
paused it on it, saw the author's name, looked up the author's name, and saw the cover and matched it. Yeah,
okay.
it wasn't.
Do you know it? Do you know anything?
No, nothing of it,
Okay.
no.
From the caves and jungles of Hindustan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Helena. Or Helena. Oh, it's Helena. Helena, get in
Come
here.
here and lick my arm.
Come
with
here,
my
I
suit
got
jacket.
my purple suit on. You know what I want, Helena. I'm gonna burn your face with acid.
Jacket liquor.
Make your hair real big. Now lick my jacket.
It's Fritzman.
It is. It is. It's Fritz.
I do. Well, I'm related to the guy,
true.
It's
It's in the blood.
It's in my blood.
guys are all worried about blood.
I should start imitating him.
Yes.
Smithers Fritzman here. Sounds just like
You do,
Just like
man.
a spitting image. I mean, it's like listening to Hank the Three.
oh boy.
If you don't like old Junior, you can kiss Bocephus' ass. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. As we all know, I hate
I'm
him.
in love
Hey,
with Lynn
thank you.
Ronstadt. I agree.
Okay. All right, they have that book. They're hunting. Chris gives a crazy speech. Pretty quickly, Holland finds him some birds. Chris shoots a
Grouse.
couple, some grouse. And Holland, of course, is like, "Let's go. I got to get back to Shelley. You got your birds."
Yeah.
Joel has been convinced it's cool now. He's felt the rush. He shot a can, and Chris says, "Don't you want to blow away something that's
Yeah, we
moving?"
could shoot cans all day.
Or, you know.
Is that the part you're talking about? Where he's like,
Yeah.
he's swinging.
Yeah, it's
You want to
just-
stay in the kiddie pool all day?
Yeah.
Yeah, or you want to go this number 5 mountain?
Because I got to tell you, I grew up around people who hunted all the time and like
Gold
shooting guns,
Slope.
and they never got that look on their face when they
No.
talk about a gun.
Well, hell, when we were, I hunted when we were kids. I
Oh, I
never
did
did
too.
that.
I did
You know,
too.
it was like
I did too.
Yeah.
I did like how
I like shooting cans too.
I liked how
but-
carelessly.
honestly,
cans.
yeah, it's
I loved how
all kinds of fun.
carelessly Flashman maneuvered his gun and used it to point at things.
Yeah.
It was very like Colin tells him, like, and Chris tells him, like, point the ground, don't swing it around. He's it's like, can we go over there? How about
Yeah.
over there?
Yeah, right,
Like,
yeah.
oh.
He's like
It's like the
he's like
Three
Homer
Stooges.
Doesn't
Simpson
even
with a pistol.
understand a safety yet.
Yes.
And he's like,
Jimmy Ferguson used to have one of these. Hey, can I get my
Yeah,
toe in
right.
this thing? Let's see what happens.
how big is that barrel?
20 gauge. What does that mean? Can I stick my? Well, never mind. That's got to be at least a 12 for that.
That's not a sound you want to hear in the
You got
dark.
you got one of them elephant guns? That's right. That's not a sound you want to hear in the dark. He feels so brave about it. Ed's eating rainbow Jello with no sprinkles. That's how depressed he is about Ruth-Anne.
Yeah, right.
Found out it was her birthday. Nobody knew. She turned 75. Then we cut back to the boys hunting. Flashman's howling at the moon. The guys are like tired. They're like just wanting to get some sleep. He cannot.
Chris falls asleep mid conversation with him.
Yes, and
Chris
he's-
is a conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
To the bitter end.
It's kind of bothered me because Flashman's like trying to talk about like how primitive it is and
Yeah.
how he never thought this side of him would come through. And oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I can't
Yeah, and
believe
everybody
I'm
just
out
kind of
here.
shuts him down.
Yeah, they literally are just
Well,
like.
Hollings has disappeared. I don't even know where he is at that.
He's like, I'm gonna go get Shelly on the walkie-talkie, or
Right.
Yeah,
something.
right, yeah.
He's,
Cast
he's
the-
worried that she left the window open. I think they're having dirty talk over the over the.
That's
not
what
a
you call it. That's
walkie-talkie.
what you guys call it, huh?
CB.
CB, yeah.
Shelley.
Over.
Shelley, lick
Got
the
your
jacket,
ears on.
Shelley.
Shelley.
Jacket liquor.
Now, Shelley, you know I love you. I want you to put that purple jacket on and lick it, Shelley.
Hey, Shelly, are you
Over.
indecent? If you ain't, get that away.
I'm
You know
getting
why
out
I
of
don't
my
like you,
long
Shelley?
john, Shelley.
Because you're a bleeder.
Once a month, every month, you're a bleeder.
Ooh.
Jackie Treehorn here. Listen up.
I haven't even heard it yet, and I already got in the middle of it. Just real quick, it was so weird how they made this episode so much about him having to be near Shelley at all times. Because that
was.
seems out of character for him. in
Well,
a lot
I
of
think the
ways.
more we see, like, he likes being domesticated, but I love that Shelley at the end is like, don't go getting weird on me.
Yeah,
It's her
yeah.
response to that.
Don't go breaking
Which, of course,
my
she's
heart.
mad at him because Flashman, long story short, Flashman shoots a bird, He doesn't die. He freaks out. He wants to save it. He takes it back home. He rushes in to the office like, Maryland, I need bandages. And we're like, whatever.
Yeah.
He's going to operate on this bird. We see it all winged up. He's freaking out. Shelley hears about it. Holling's just happy to be back with Shelley.
Right.
And he's chipper and whistling. And she's like, Holling Vincor, how dare you whistle?
Yeah.
And she tells
Your
a story
friend.
about a fish that went belly up when she was little. And you hear Chris be like, unresolved pet drama or something.
Yeah, and I think, and who's sitting them Ed's like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Of course.
This-
Yeah.
yes.
Right. Makes sense. Now, yeah.
Ruth-Anne about her mom and the clogging accident. This is a weird story about Ruth-Anne. Her grandma died of a clogging accident because Maurice is like, how's longevity in your genes? Wanting to talk about when she's going to keel over, basically. And
Are you going to talk about Maurice in this episode? Because
is this the one where he comes running in, or is it the next
In
one?
this one,
Oh, it
he's
was this
taking
one.
over the radio,
He
and
takes
he's
over the
mad.
radio. You're right. I
I
forgot.
just love this. This is so
Maurice
Maurice.
takes
I know.
over the
We were talking about this
radio.
before you got here.
And
so
he thinks he's waxing poetic. He's just talking about like the hunter and the prey, wild things about like it's the stupidest shit. He thinks he's being like super deep, and we cut to Ruth-Anne,
Yeah. Click.
and Ruth-Anne's like, "Turn him off." He's giving me a bellyache. or
Right,
something.
yeah. Right.
Turns it off, and then later, what you're referring to, the great
this is the
part.
scene. This is my favorite
Maurice
scene. of the whole
comes
episode.
in
Something wrong with your radio.
instantly.
Mad.
Why not radio?
Why ain't that radio on? It's broken.
It's broken.
She has like that tone.
No,
like, go
yeah,
to hell.
yeah. As like, ask me again. I dare you to ask
dare
me
you.
what's broken. Yeah.
How dare you.
But I just love that he walks in and that's his first thing is,
Yeah, why
you
haven't
are
you-
not listening
you
to
have
me on
not
the
been
radio.
listening
And
to
how
me.
dare you?
Yeah.
It's my time to shine.
Walter's time shine, man.
We need to bring Walter back somehow. He sit over there somewhere.
He sit over there.
Just off camera.
Well, he doesn't like to be on camera after Shark advised him.
That's true. That's true.
Hey,
He's got to stay. Is that thing up yet? Is that like?
I have check.
I'm sure it's
I
I
think
just want to make it clear that Shark has never represented Walter or anything. He just gave him a kind legal
I didn't do
opinion.
anything. I didn't
no,
do
he
that.
just said I wouldn't show my face anywhere, Walter.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah. It wasn't a legal opinion. That's
That's just a human opinion.
it's just yeah,
opinion.
right. Personal opinion. Yeah, there's nothing legal about that.
Maggie finds out Joel's there, and she finds out he liked it. She cannot believe it. She goes to the office. It's Joel. Oh wait, no, she goes to his house,
Yeah.
and he is wrapped up. He's been watching all depressing death movies. He's got a little TV next to him. He's covered up.
Has a
Crying.
shave.
Haven't shaved. He's crying. It says it's a cathartic cry. It's fine. We go back to Ruth-Anne. She's smoking. She reveals that she's been rolling her own since before she was 12, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's
Also,
not
didn't
going
we
to stop
find out
now.
that her mother or something lived in like 96? There's some
Yes.
longevity that
She said that her other mother lived to be like 100 or 98
Yeah,
or
okay.
something like
Yeah,
that.
but
Because
yes.
Maurice is like, that's pretty dang good. And he's
Yeah.
like, how about your other? And she's like, she died in a clogging accident.
Yes.
And she gives a speech about how grandpa wanted to bury her with her clogs.
And they thought it was
And
seemly or
she's wanted to imagine she was dancing in heaven. And you see Ed kind of look at her and you see him kind of like think about that.
Yeah.
Makes
And,
more sense. I thought they said logging.
logging accident.
well,
You sure she didn't die in a logging accident, but she really enjoyed clogging?
no.
Maggie's there with Joel, and I love this scene. Joel admits that he doesn't know everything, and he's been pompous, and that he's a doctor, and he shouldn't be shutting out other people's thoughts and opinions
Yeah.
because they're important to
That's
him and
the
taking
second
in
or
the
third
world.
time this season he's taken a step towards
Yeah.
evolving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the questions, is he going to have an arc? Will he evolve? I think he's trying to. He tells Maggie that she was right, like just that alone, and being like, "You're
Yeah.
right."
Yeah.
And you can see her like
She doesn't know what to do with
wanting
it.
to fight him and being like,
Yeah.
It's like the Key and Peele skit where the Democrats are just doing everything the Republicans want to do, and they're like, "You can't
Yeah, where Obama keeps
Yeah,
giving
right.
them
Can't
everything
give them
they
everything,
want.
yeah.
build a wall."
Yeah, he takes their platform. I think we ought to build
And
a
they
wall.
cancel
They're
all of
like,
it.
no, you can't
All
do
right.
that.
All right, it's off the table.
Well, you
It's off
have a
the
hard
table.
bargain there.
So genius.
We get Ruth
Brer
Ann.
Rabbit.
Ruth Ann goes to start her car. It won't start. Chris comes up to help her.
Great.
We see Shelly walking by. She's acting weird. And
Scurry.
yeah, Ruth Ann's like, I worry about that girl. And I love Chris says, she just runs on an open circuit, which is a great line. To which Ruth Ann says, well, I just want to know if she's grounded.
Yeah, right.
He walks her in. It's a big surprise party for Ruth Ann. The whole town meeting.
Town meeting.
But it's there. Everybody's brought presents. We find out it was all Ed's idea.
Just when you think that he is so, for lack of a better word, dumb.
Yeah, he's
You
it,
find
man.
out he is
Or simple-minded.
He's so
Yeah.
he's so
He's out.
good.
He's the
He's in
original
tune.
op-ed.
Yes.
He is in tune. Yes.
He's just not telling you much of what he's
yes,
thinking.
and I mean I know this is a stereotype, but Native American stoicism, right? They kind of don't say more than you need to, this kind of stuff. He seemed, because he's part Native American, right? Isn't
Yes.
it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it fits that he's quiet, kind of keeps things together, but then he's so emotionally in tune. I love it.
Ruth Ann says she didn't want to party. I love Ed says, everybody wants to party, Ruth Ann. And she gives him a big kiss, and the whole place is like, it's a sweet moment. And then...
And you think that's the good, sweet ending.
Yeah. And you're like, all right.
It would have been pleasing.
Yeah.
You're
Put a
like,
bow on top
you're
of
like,
it.
what a nice little wrap up.
Yeah.
Good job, Ed. Party. Ruth Ann feels good
Yep.
about herself.
Brought the town together as
She
usual.
gave him a great speech about I'm old, but I don't want to feel old. Stop reminding me that
that's
I'm
it.
old.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not that old if you don't feel it.
So,
and anyway, so then
he gets her a gift.
she gets a gift, and she says, "Well, what did you get me?" And he holds up this jar of dirt, and you're like, What? All right, Ed, that's
Right.
weird. And then you cut to this beautiful scene where they're up on this hillside, and there's a mountain in the background, and a
The
lake beneath them.
hills are alive.
You start hearing this some great northern music coming up underneath it. And long story short, because we got to get to the next one, he says, I bought you this couple feet. It's just like from here to the edge of the cliff, basically.
Right.
And she's like, well, it's a nice spot, I guess, thanks. And he tells her, it's your grave. I bought it for you to be buried here. Mm-hmm. Which she takes a beat, and then she's like, well, it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you'll have a great view of the mountain here. Mm-hmm. To which Ruth Ann, which you just love more and more as the show goes on,
Yeah.
she says, well, I think we should dance. Mm-hmm. And that's it. They start dancing.
Yeah, and
music
she has some
starts
great
playing.
line. Like there's no opportunity.
She's like, I won't ever
to dance on your own grave.
Dance on your own
right?
grave.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
And it's so sweet.
It's just a great line.
I'm
about
tearing
it.
up thinking about it. It's so
Yeah.
sweet.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
And
The ending
then,
was.
great helicopter shot. They're
them.
just spinning around. They're dancing the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I told Rob it's become a thing. You can go to that spot.
Oh.
It's accessible.
But wait.
Yeah.
And there's usually a line of people, and they're just waiting to film themselves dancing.
Right,
in that
sure.
spot.
But there's a line of people that like you and I would dance.
Yeah.
And then we were done.
They'd be like,
I'll go dance with you on some movie location.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
I
I'm
think
there.
the three of us should
Yeah.
go and do the Pee Wee Herman dance.
Yeah. That's it. Line.
So
You're talking about masturbating in a theater?
No. This was one of those.
Just jerk all them
this
dolls
was one
off
of
the
those
shelves.
episodes that what I love about Northern Exposure is whatever this contained community is, whether it's in time or space, in a way, there's a purity and innocence and a genuineness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That it and they somehow walk you up to it doesn't become saccharine. You know what I mean? They get you right
for
there,
sure.
and then they hold it. Like that
Yes.
scene could have been. There could have been had Tim Burton done this would have been a cheese factor of like.
Well, you wouldn't be able to see it. He just shot it during the Alaskan winter when there's, it's like there. You could even tell there are mountains there. You know what I mean? It's like we're in Alaska, but it's dark.
But we ain't gonna show you.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like it was
Ed
one
would
of
have
those
had
ones
black
that it
stuff
feels
leaking
really
out of his mouth.
Yeah,
for no
exactly
reason.
right. Yeah.
Hey, Ruth Ann, let me show you my French tickler trick.
Because there's episodes of My Name Is Earl that when they end, you just feel good.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And they did it not near as much, but they
No,
had
but
it.
it's- yeah.
But Northern Exposure, it's one of my favorite things about it is these endings that
endings.
feel even if there's like a note of sadness, we know she's not going to live forever. And when she goes,
Yeah,
Ed is
but-
going to lose something
yeah,
important.
yeah,
But
but-
she's here now.
Sure.
That's the beauty of now.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
Enjoy it while it's here now. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
There's something quite poetic about the show that they hit really
Yeah,
well.
and they're starting to more and more this season. They're starting to nail those endings.
I feel like this season has went more for these emotional
Yeah.
connections. Like we don't have the goofiness of the
Yeah,
of
it's
the
not
last
quite as
season.
not quite
Well, we
as
get it-
slapsticky.
we
you
get
know,
another
yeah.
one in
not
this next
slapsticky, but not quite
episode.
the
silly.
next episode.
This episode right here. Let's get into it. We got about a half hour almost.
Nice.
Get Real, episode 8, season 3, episode 8 of Northern Exposure. Get Real. Ed's fixing a tire on his truck. He looks up and there's some people coming toward him. One of them happens to be a bear.
Yeah, dude's got a bear on a leash, and it seems all cool.
Well, it's on the leash.
They are the Ludwig Wittgenstein.
Ludwig.
Ludwig
It's Ludwig Wittgenstein.
Wittgenstein Masquerade and Reality
Do you know
Company.
who Ludwig Wittgenstein is?
Wittgenstein.
Wittgenstein. Sorry, he is a philosopher, very famous philosopher. Like one of his big philosophies, and I'll do it quick, is that man cannot handle the moral responsibilities of what it takes to be decent.
Ah, okay.
So we have projected what would make us good into the sky. He talks about like a movie. That's our concept of God.
Okay.
Like what we should be, and we just are too lazy and can't do. We've projected up there, and we try to strive for it, but we don't because it would take too much responsibility. That's like one of his biggest concepts.
And
is
so,
this.
and so they have dropped out of that construct. These people.
Yeah, and real quick, can I just say it before I forget? Nerd alert. When this episode started, I started immediately thinking of this philosopher Bakhtin.
Okay.
And he was very interested in the carnivalesque and how it's a space for transgression, and the carnival lets us be grotesque and transcend the controls of society. And I kept thinking this show's so philosophic, they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
You
but
can't because they're too pure. Like it's, they're too pure. They don't need the
Now,
grotesque.
when did this
they
guy
show everything.
When did this
You
guy?
sure he wasn't talking about a carnival?
Yeah. But when did this guy?
Wittgenstein?
No, the other guy.
Bakhtin?
Poutine. When did he put the cheese on?
Poutine.
When did he put the
Shit's
cheese on the potatoes?
To our Canadian friends, thank you for poutine. The only thing that we got to add is if y'all add some, if they'd add some damn biscuits to that, shoot. I don't think that we got a need for a border if we could put biscuits and gravy and poutine together.
So we cut to the radio. K-Bear. By the way, our friend
K-Bear.
OG told me today. I think he's serious. He said he wants to get a K-Bear tattoo. I was like, all right.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Chris is welcoming all these weirdos into town.
See, that's why they can't be grotesque
Yeah.
because everything's
Yeah.
accepted in
Yep.
Sicily.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like
They- yeah, they're-
they are the carnival
Yeah.
in the good way where you
Right.
can be whatever you are.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to get that out.
Oh yeah,
This
no,
is
that's
that
great.
town in Florida.
That's why I wanted you. That's why I wanted you to watch.
That
this
my
show.
name is Earl.
Yes.
Right.
I think they come back. These guys.
Oh, it would be perfect
think.
for them to come back.
We meet the Flying Man, Bob.
Shit, Fleischman. Well, anyway, I'm getting ahead of things.
Yeah.
And he wants a piece of Whirlwind. He was ahead of his time. Asses were in for him. He wanted that Whirlwind ass.
Asses, yeah.
That ass is big.
Somebody get Bismarcky on the phone. It's your cousin.
Hey, oh, that was for one of the Batman movies. Baby got back. I think that's Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Little in the middle, but she's got much back.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. So who you're going for?
Is that the one? I was actually aiming for the
one
it's your
you
cousin
did.
joke from that night,
yeah,
from
yeah.
the movie night.
You
It's,
should have done that.
That joke was for you, Jamie
You
Coppola.
got what I need. Anyway, okay.
He didn't do the back one?
No, that's
No,
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
that's Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Okay.
His python don't want none, hun.
Well, I
if
heard
you
all
ain't got
that,
buns.
yeah.
Wait, if you got buns, hun, my python
You can
don't
do
want
side
none.
bends or sit-ups, but please don't lose that butt. Sorry.
All right, we the weirdos are there. The Flying Man, he wants he wants that whirlwind ass. He keeps. I love her. I love him. Joel is talking about some college peers, right?
So he had this moment of evolution
Pierce.
last
Yes.
episode, and then this
Pierce,
one
yes,
he's the
Pierce.
competitive douchebag
Yeah,
again.
he's
like,
back to being
wanting
Joel.
to take pleasure, and
Yes,
I
it's
graduated
fried-
with someone whose job's
fried
horrible. Yes.
Yes.
Is this the one that where the number shocked me?
Yes.
Right, okay.
He's probably making 150 grand.
Right. It was like,
Flights was
Oh
like,
my
damn, that's
God.
the life.
In New York.
yeah.
In
I mean,
New York
yeah.
City.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to talk about it because it makes me feel like my grandpa. You know, I feel very, when I heard that, I felt very, very much like, ice cream only used to cost a nickel.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was like, oh my
But
God,
he's
that's
glad
horrible.
one of his colleagues is screwed. One of them's doing well, which he hates.
Which he hates.
So he decides to make the best of his time here, and him and Ed get out all of his books. He's going to dig into these books, and he's going to digest them, he tells Ed. And Ed, of course, is
Got
just
3
like,
months to become a specialist.
That's right, 3 months to specialize in endocrinology. That's not
I think that.
and
might be it.
Ed's like, Ed's just like, okay. He's like, you don't know what this means, Ed. And he's like, I'm not going to see, I have no social time, Ed. And Ed's like,
Leave now,
all
basically.
right,
You know,
and Ed's
Yeah.
like, all right. So whatever.
So cancel our volleyball match.
And, then we're back at the brick, and this guy does a dart trick. Or do we meet this guy on the road with
he
Chris
was on the
first?
road.
We
yes.
see him, yeah.
So, or do I mean,
Or maybe
the
we
one
see
who
him
talks
with his
to Ed.
kid, right?
but
He's
what
the
I'm
one who
saying-
talks to Ed.
yeah,
Yeah, it's his
we,
kid.
we know that. But what I'm asking is, does the conversation with him and Chris on the street happen before the dart or after?
After.
The dart?
After.
It's the dart trick that gets him.
Yeah.
Gets him going.
They start talking about probabilities and all that kind of
So
stuff.
he has this
yes.
dart trick, and he says, I wrote it down here. It's the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. I use a dimensional space-time equation to figure out the intersection of the dart with the target. That's his pitch.
That's his pitch.
Right.
Which I pretty darn good pitch. If you're gonna try to con me,
Yeah, yeah.
make it worth it.
Yeah, right, right.
So Chris, now this part, I was like, that's not a thing. Chris says, "What about the probability wave?"
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, but you haven't taken into account why,
Yeah.
sir.
Right.
Quantum, there's no absolutes in space, man. Or says,
Yeah, right.
I wrote down if time is a flat circle, you're already thrown that dart, man.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, he throws a dart. He gets his age. And then we have the thing of them walking down the road. And Chris says that he's self-taught in physics. So not only is he self-taught in philosophy,
Yes.
apparently Chris is big into physics.
But yeah, well, they go hand in hand, really. Seriously, I'm not
No,
being
they do.
facetious
They
about
really
that.
do.
It's- yeah.
So,
Because it's all theoretical.
I also just took a note
You know,
here.
like extrapolations and stuff.
No one, yes, no one cares about the bear drinking at the bar. Holling's like, here you go, and here's one for the
Yes.
lady.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not even.
but
Never.
again,
Well, it's pet bear. You know, I mean, it's their bear.
mean,
It's
like-
not. It wasn't a wild bear.
but isn't this Sicily?
You know.
Everybody's accepted.
And Rob,
Everything's
shit, it was on a
accepted.
leash, man.
I know.
It's on a leash. What else you want?
That's
Now,
domestication.
Where was Maurice in this episode? Because I kept waiting for Maurice to come in and
And
be
have a
like,
problem
and
with
have a
him?
problem
We
with
never
these
see
people.
Maurice
I
in the
didn't think we
entire
did either.
episode.
I think they wrote him out just for that reason because he would be the
Because
one
he
to be
would
like
be.
he would argue.
Yeah, it's
the
like
guy
we don't want to have a problem here.
being a beatnik. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you had a college education, a professor, and you drug your kids on
No.
the road, and
Well,
you know.
worse, I think he would see they don't bring commerce. They're not here
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
spending money and
You're right.
you know, doing stuff
Yeah.
like this. You know,
Right.
you were getting resources, not
Not,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah. We
Get him out of
we
my
can't
town.
exploit you. Leave.
Exactly. Why ain't you listening to me?
You're
radio?
going. You might exploit us.
Yes.
I was wondering here. Joe's at home. He's going through the books. What are his hours?
I always wonder that.
Half the time he's
yeah.
at home in the middle of the day. Half
Yeah.
the time he's at the office. I don't
And then he
ever
takes
know.
off on random trips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like seriously,
Yeah.
there's episodes. Where
I
he
just
gets
figure
caught up
places like that. It's kind of like, you know, Maryland's probably there on a regular schedule, and he, you know, rolls in whenever and whatever and whatever.
Like-
he may have some regular days.
like
or
a lot of
something.
doctors kind of.
Now, I have this next thing.
Yeah,
here.
especially those doorknob doctor guys like
Oh,
that. I mean,
absolutely.
you know, I mean, when your job is like, well, I feel bad, and on the left quadrant of that, it's like, yeah, okay, well, then we're going to refer you to this guy.
Yeah.
Well, if it's the right quadrant, then we're going to refer you
Right.
to that guy. But you're not actually doing. No, I'm just going to charge you money for sending you to the next person. But
Right.
my specialty is, you know, whatever
Exploiting
part of
you.
the body that you say hurts, then I know what other guy to call.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
right.
we probably couldn't like have an internet thing where you type in there and you're like, this part of my body hurts, and you're like, well, call this guy. Seems like
no
we cut the
kidding.
middleman out.
Whoa,
real.
we can't do that.
What? No, that couldn't happen. Flying Man's back. At some point, is this not just harassment? He shows up
Yeah.
at her work and he's just like, I'm not leaving until you
I think
say
it,
no.
no. I think
Until you say yes.
technically, I think it's full blown stalking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
but
if
he's
not worse.
But he's sweet about it. And of course,
And he's a mime.
he's a mime. And of course, Marilyn knows.
But he can
everything.
talk.
He can talk. But
Yeah.
he chooses not to.
right,
Right.
and that's creepy.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting around, but somehow Marilyn knows everything he's saying.
Correct.
He's just like, and you should be like, I know, but I can't.
I
get on
can't
the
walk 5
bus."
miles up the creek today with you and pick
Right.
wildflowers.
On the North Ridge at the third quadrant.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the circus is practicing. Joel, let's see here. He comes to reading, but he doesn't want to get involved with the circus. He tells Ed's like, "Come over here." They have this weird music playing. The flying man gets Marilyn flowers. There's a scene where the flying man's doing a trick with a hanky, and you think it's going to turn into something,
And it's not.
And it's just him
and it
dancing.
never
with
does.
her. Yeah, it's
It's
him.
just this, and it goes on
way too long.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just him.
You know, it's kind of like one of those like, hey,
Patrick
man,
Swayze butt
if
shots.
we're running,
It goes on way too long.
if we need to fill some time,
Or
we'll put
just
4
long
guitar
enough.
solos on,
Well,
on
stop.
you know,
Get
on
Lynch out of the way.
right? And that's
Yeah.
what that felt like. That felt like, man, we'll just extend the guitar solo, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
I forgot to mention before that, Shelley's rubbing her feet. Holland sees how big her feet are, and he freaks out. That's the B story of this
Yeah,
episode.
Yeah,
that's-
Shelley's feet are the B story.
He
man.
goes to Chris at one point, and Chris kind of gives him not the best advice. He's like,
no,
"I-"
Chris is kind of a douchebag
Well,
for
but
one.
not at
Yeah.
first.
And not at first, he's
Not at
fine.
first.
But then he says,
But-
but for me, that's a first
when
sign of
it's time to
it's
go.
time to go, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I would have never figured. I was like, oh no, you
Yeah.
don't like big feet, lady. All right. To get away from Taryn Tees.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Taryn Tees would be all over Shelley. Oh man.
So it's going to be the 10 films just going to be called Feet.
I was gonna
And
say
then
that's
it's gonna
why
be Shelley's
that's why he
feet in
canceled.
Alaska.
That's why he canceled that movie. He saw Northern on Prime. He got to that episode. He's like, God.
And Shelley's feet,
Shelley's
okay. And they're like her big,
like feet.
right?
I already got Sam Jackson. I wrote a great speech for Sam Jackson. Okay.
Is he going to use the N word while talking about her feet? I mean, of course
so.
he is.
I think so.
Of course he is.
Let's see here. The guy's in the office. He finally gets Marilyn to lunch. The circus happens. Joe can't watch. Shelley goes crazy because Charlie tells her that he thinks her feet are big. It's a whole side story we don't really need.
Yeah. It's,
Now there's an interesting part here. What are we supposed to make of this? Joel sees the flying man.
I was going to ask about this.
He's coming into town. He's in his old truck. We see the flying man. He's like, "Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob, flying man." Then Joel drives into town, and I feel like it's one shot.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a trick
Yeah.
somehow where they got it in one shot.
Yeah.
He drives, and then he ends up in town, and he's
Sweating.
sweating. That's right. And here's Bob next to him. He's beat him to town somehow, and he's covered in sweat. We just saw him 30 seconds ago.
Right.
And Flashman says, "You didn't." No.
yeah.
And that's all we get from
Yeah.
him.
And I thought that was strange that they never did more with this.
Yeah.
By the way, did we skip my favorite scene in the episode, the
Maybe.
dinner scene, where we see
Oh.
Marilyn's family
Well, she
doesn't speak?
Yes, he finally she finally gives in, and of course,
After he stalked her.
being the sweet as she is, their first date is, "You're gonna come meet my parents.
Yes,
you're gonna have
yes.
dinner with my parents." And the woman has to be Marilyn's real mom. She looks exactly like
Yes.
her. Because Marilyn actually lives there. Did we ever discuss the fact that Marilyn is from this town?
No.
She's not an actress.
No.
I thought that was pretty clear. That
That
she
was-
was like.
Oh, no. I had no idea.
She was just there.
Now I didn't know about where they're shooting it, but I thought it's clear she's not an actress. She's
Oh,
from the
yeah.
area.
The
I thought that
people,
all
no, the
felt
people that make the show saw her, and they were like, "Would you like to be a part of the show?" I don't think they planned for her to be that big of a part.
I get it.
right.
But once they saw how great she was, they
Yeah,
were like,
yeah.
let's build this." So, are we to
That
think
dinner
he's?
scene, just a lot of
Yeah, there's just a lot of nodding, a lot of this acting.
politely, handing out food, things like
Yeah.
this.
And it's,
Yeah, and then the mom says, "I really like it."
Yeah,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean?
Again,
like
yeah,
him.
it's been, nothing.
He gets
Because
a
I
little-
could just see them thinking, people talk too much and they shut the F up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who doesn't speak, so perfect.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Ruth-Anne goes to see the palm reader. And the reason we have this
Yeah.
scene
We get the call back to their sons.
to their sons
Yeah.
a couple times. Yeah, Rudy. And the reason we have it is so Maggie can see the palm reading and realize it's real.
Right.
Or this time, at least, it seemed to be like she
Yeah.
called out everything.
Right.
You have 2 boys. You were in the war, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you can see Maggie being like, I want this bitch to read my palm.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Am I going to kill some more men? What's going to happen? I have Dwight Yoakam's playing on
Yeah.
in the background in the scenes. Pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
the second time we've had Dwight playing.
Little DY.
Now, Marilyn tells Bob she can't go with him and breaks his heart. He says he can't stay because he has to fly. And then Maggie
Do the
goes.
REO Speedwagon.
Maggie gets her palm read. She doesn't hear what she wants to hear. She finally asks her about.
Why was hers so pedestrian?
It was very pedestrian.
Like,
Ruth Ann's was like,
Ruth Ann's was so much like
Yeah.
beautiful detail and everything, and when Maggie's was like,
Maybe
you're
it's-
gonna
might have
live.
been- my
you will
thought
have
was,
hair on your head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like very.
my thought was Maggie doesn't want to hear.
That's what I
what I
wondered.
have
like
to tell
she's
her.
not ready for what I would want to tell. Yeah, that I would need to tell her.
Yeah. But anyway, she gets the information she wants. You're going to marry an outdoorsy macho guy. She says, okay. And then she thinks she meets him instantly.
Yeah, right.
And classic Maggie is just like, oh, yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Right.
No, just shuts it down.
How about the
yells
fact she
at him.
seems to want Fleischman? You sure he's not shorter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah.
not
It's like
he's
she's
not from
trying
Yeah,
New
to
York.
like, well, like
fit
she's
Fleischman.
expecting that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know.
Clearly,
Yeah.
she's wanting Fleischman. Just get over it and do it already.
Right.
And then the guy has to leave. Bob has to leave Maryland. And they have this, everybody gets back on the bus. Apparently, they fixed their radiator, their flux capacitor. They do put on a show, which Fleischman finally,
This baby gets to 28 miles an hour.
Fleischman finally shuts his book and goes to watch and hang out with,
Yeah.
with the circus people, the weirdos.
Yeah.
And then they have to leave town. And Chris reads this great poem as they're all leaving town. And Bob's going and
Did we ever
Marilyn.
figure out who it's by?
Yeah, it's by Robert Burns.
Oh, that's right. We talked about this.
From
Yes.
1759, Robert Burns. Oh, my love, it's like a red, red rose that newly sprung in June. Goes on, oh, I shall return my love if it be 10,000 years as
Right.
they're going out of town. And, Marilyn's watching.
years.
And what's
10,000 years.
great little ending. Is Maggie and Fleischman walking down the road together, or is that a different episode?
I think it's different.
I think it's a
Yeah, I
different-
think it was
Yeah.
the one before.
Yeah, I
no, one of them wherever he's on the street and she's kind of walking by him.
Just they're
yeah.
kind of walking together as a
Yeah.
dog
Yeah.
with them down the main street. But that's how it ends with the Robert Burns poem. Really good episode. A lot of weird stuff going on in it.
Did this
Any other
episode
thoughts?
have, to me, this episode had the feeling of a French film.
Oh yeah,
It
very
really
much.
felt like a French
Yeah.
film, and especially I know like
Well, I don't know.
the guy not talking is like a mime, so you
Sure.
have like this things aren't explained interactions.
Hurry up,
It
hurry
just-
up.
it felt
Mime
like
is money.
It definitely
Cannoli's
felt
not
like
gonna
a
serve
French
itself.
film or something.
Yeah,
to me, or a
absolutely.
non-American film.
It's a little bit of
It was-
Italian, a little bit of a Fellini
Yes,
film.
yes.
There's just weirdness happening.
Correct, and that seemed very normal, like magical realism kind
yes,
of things. Like,
absolutely.
it's just normal.
By the way, do we want to watch the greatest magical realism of all time? My favorite book ever.
Yeah.
100 Years of Solitude. Netflix is making it.
Into a series,
series.
which we both thought this was unfilmable and couldn't be done.
I got really upset
The trailer dropped last night.
when I,
Oh, really?
when I
haven't
heard
seen
this
it yet.
news.
He's wanting us to look at this.
I don't know how to. I guess we should watch it. I might get emotionally upset.
Well,
I might be pleased though.
Did
I-
you see?
You guys gonna make me watch a bunch of dragon shit?
no,
No.
no.
Okay.
No.
Unfilmable book. I would say it's an unfilmable book. Let me see. Let's see if we can figure
Look,
this out.
it's Christopher Walken on your
God.
wall.
I would love it. Oh, that's right. He's up there.
On the wall.
Is this him? I think that's him. We watched OJ die last time, so hopefully this one is the right one. No commercial. All right. Turn it up. My phone's skipping.
2 años después, frente al pelotón de fusilamiento,
Nice stash.
el coronel Aureliano Buendía
The fifth,
había de
motherfucker.
recordar aquella tarde remota en que su padre lo llevó a conocer el hielo.
There, maybe a mustache ain't gonna sit on itself.
I like the casting. I like the way it looks.
You made Elon mad, didn't you?
My phone has been hooked up to this way too long.
Yeah, see, it's nothing like we would normally try to get you to watch.
But it looks like the same sort of crap you guys try to get me to watch. Set in the woods.
Do you see dragons? Do you see zombies? Do you see
No, it didn't look scary. It
stabbies?
just looked boring as hell.
Oh, dear.
I mean, what was I supposed to take from that trailer? Seriously. There's rocks, there's a river, there's people. What else was I supposed to
do you
have
want
gotten?
to stab him?
A little bit.
I mean, what
I
was
guess I
supposed
know.
to take it?
I guess I know the story. I don't know how I would take it if I didn't know it. I'd probably be like, okay, there's a jungle.
I mean, to me, that looked like a
Somebody's
perfume
having-
commercial.
Somebody's having babies.
A guy's life
There's
flashing
some,
before
there's
his
some
eyes.
magic. The guy's in front of a firing squad. That have you see the what's that called?
I mean-
The snake eating itself. You get to see
Yeah.
that.
Ouroboros.
The discovery of ice. But it doesn't. If I made the trailer, I think you would be like, "Oh, that looks cool."
We'll say, and that makes
because
sense.
there's so
But
many. The story is wonderful, but beyond the story, there's tons of visuals in it
Yeah.
that are just easy
Yeah.
to put to screen. And I'm-
Yes.
And I say
Yes.
and when I say that, I say the movie's unfilmable because of the whole span of the book and the theme of the book is so broad and
I was gonna say epic.
epic in a very different way than
Yes.
most epics.
Yes.
fair enough.
It's beautiful and it's sad. It's everything I love about it's northern. It's magical
Yeah,
realism
it's
because
such a human.
it is
yes.
so human. It's
Yeah.
so tragic. It's dirty. It's gross. There's sex and nastiness and
We
death and hookers.
should have led
and,
with that, dude.
there's flowers falling from the sky for 3 days after people
Yeah.
die. Like there's.
Yes.
It's just a cool freaking book. It's not just a like deep, meaningful book that's beautiful and
But it
also
is.
It is. It's just
Like this is a literary masterpiece.
it's like the heart of humanity is in this
Well,
book.
if they would have managed to put a little bit of that in the trailer, I might have had a
See,
different opinion.
but see,
But
this is
seriously,
why-
you
this
guys
is
just
why
watched the
we're
same thing I did, right?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, was there? I mean, was what?
Oh, I
what
couldn't have got
information could
anything
I
out of it.
possibly have
Other than
gotten
I said,
from
a guy's
that
in front of
trailer?
a
Other than
firing
like a
squad, he's
guy's
gonna think over
remember-
I mean,
his life.
like I
Yeah.
said, that was a quality mustache. Was literally the only thing that I took away from that,
No,
and it
I
was a
agree.
damn fine mustache.
So I'm really worried. It's a series, not a show. But
which
I,
is a smart move.
it is a smart move because it follows several generations. It's
Yeah,
not just
yeah,
one
100
guy.
years,
It's
man.
like, and they all have the same name, which is convenient.
100 years, Morty. 100 years. Rick and Morty for 100 years.
But yeah, they are all the same guy. They just have 1, 2, or 3. I think they go up to 5 after their names. Is that right?
I
If
think so,
remember
yes.
right. I need to reread it. I don't know. You're gonna watch the series?
I'm trying to decide.
I'm-
It's going to be a while before it comes out, right?
I might rather you watch it and then tell me if I should watch it.
No, I can't do that because I love this book, but this book I think is like
Doesn't mean that
visceral
much to you.
you.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the book, but it's visceral to you. So I don't want to step into that waters because I can.
No, I just want a little heads up from somebody that I know that.
No. I understand. I understand.
know.
Like
Now,
Copple, for instance, wouldn't watch the new Interview with the Vampire series
Yes.
until
you told him.
I
it was
told
okay
him
to
like,
watch.
dude, it's.
Okay.
I mean, she was involved.
So he
her
feels
son's
about the
involved.
book the way I feel about Daisy Duke being a brunette.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Understand.
Yes.
now-
and Fender guitars.
Now, Koppel
and
did
things
have
like
a
this, yes.
idea that he should watch Revolution, the Al Pacino movie that we want to see. Give me levity. Give me death.
Telling you,
He wants
1776 is
he
the
wants
one.
to watch it and then tell us via him what it's about.
Right. Oh, I
So
think
he
it's
just
great.
tells us the movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We don't watch it because I don't want to watch it. It's not going to be what we think it is. It's not going to be Al.
I wanna watch it.
I know you do. I kind of do too, but it's not going to be good. It's not.
Oh,
gonna
I don't
be-
want to watch it.
Oh, it's not
No,
gonna be
yeah,
good.
I definitely don't want to watch
it's
it.
not
That's
gonna be
why I
Al.
want to watch.
Yeah.
You don't think it'll be
No,
Viva la Revolution?
no. He's gonna be talking quiet. He's gonna be doing this thing. Maybe even this thing what he used to do when he's been still in cruising.
Yeah.
He used to have that weird high voice. Anyway, that's happening soon. So that couple might watch that. Should we watch it? I don't know if I can deal with it.
I don't want to watch.
Did you see? I don't know if you know Brian Cox, have the relationship with Cox that Rob and I have with Cox. But Rob and I have a big relationship with Cox, Brian Cox. The guy from Succession. Did you read the article I sent you about his critique of Joaquin Phoenix?
You
and Napoleon?
could have just read it. This in the blur.
Just the
Turns
blurb.
out I had a different link about Cox than the one that
Not
you sent me. It was
X video.
Yeah, it was-
COX video.
So you didn't watch Napoleon, right? I'm the only one who suffered
I
through
haven't.
it.
yeah. I'm not watching that shit.
Okay.
Cox. He's our guy
calls
from
out.
Succession that we love to imitate
Okay.
and say, Ever.
You've seen him in so many things. Trust me.
right,
You've
right.
seen him. He does the McDonald's commercials. The
Da, 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 da.
Well, you don't. How would I know that? It's the voice of the McDonald's. That helped,
You would have
Rob.
seen- I mean, you would have seen the thing.
He was a thespian in
Yeah, because I mean,
Deadwood,
like
but
his
that's
voice
not-
is so you know it the second you hear it. If you've seen
He's
him
got a
in the movie,
very if you
you
see
know
him,
it's his
he does have a
voice.
very.
Did you watch Troy?
No,
yes,
no.
he was
no.
Armageddon.
Yeah,
Agamemnon.
Yeah,
yes,
no,
that's
that
right.
that looked atrociously bad from like.
Bring up my best fighter.
No, I stayed away
It wasn't
from it.
terrible,
From
I actually
But-
really enjoyed Troy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Did you?
They
I didn't say I really enjoyed
No,
it.
they made this
It did
decision
not
to keep the
deserve.
gods out of it, which makes it so much more brutal.
yeah.
They're, like they mentioned gods, but like in the Iliad, you know how the gods will put smoke on a battlefield and come.
Right.
That shit don't happen. People
Right,
die.
right,
People
yeah.
just die.
Right.
I wouldn't
But
say.
anyway,
I would say I loved it,
he
but I thought
rips.
people hated that movie, and I was like,
Unfairly, I think.
it's not that bad. I
It's
thought
not.
that what's his name, Bana.
Bana was great as Hector.
He's such a little. He's perfect Hector. Like you know what I mean. Like he wants to be something.
Yeah, because
But he is clearly
Hector
not.
is so moral to the point it gets him killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
Bana played it well.
He's
but
He was pretty young then, wasn't he? Bayona?
Oh, this was when he was. They thought he
He's
was gonna
still
be
a poor
huge
man's
star.
Mark Ruffalo, but
He basically
okay.
says that Joaquin Phoenix was the worst thing.
it's like I don't know what
In
he was
that
doing.
movie,
I don't know what he was trying. He's
doing.
like, I could have done better myself. if I
And he
could
made
did.
fun of his name.
He
like-
said Ridley should have never made that movie. Like it was. Yeah, he
Yeah.
made of his wacky
because his
Phoenix.
performance
Well, I mean,
is
you know,
wacky and-
that's nitpicking, but but I do think I agree with the rest of it. It's like
he's one
that.
of
You
those
just didn't
dudes
need to do that.
He just gets on. He just says what he's one of those dudes. He's
Yeah.
old curmudgeon now. He
Right.
just
Oh yeah,
tells
he
you what
does
he
not
thinks.
give a rat's behind.
Which I think's fun because nobody else is doing that anymore. But we are about out of time. Northern Exposure. I give both of those 5 out of 5 moose burgers. We didn't mention that Joel eats his patient. He eats
did.
the bird.
That's
And it's
right.
kinda
Tastes
like,
pretty good.
That's
It tastes
right.
pretty good. It's like an exotic chicken. He spits out the buckshot, which reminded me of my childhood.
yeah.
Got that with a squirrel one time.
That is
Buckshot.
Brian Cox.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, you've seen him in all kinds of movies.
I noticed him without my glasses. Yeah, yeah. How was I supposed? And
Hey, Shark.
seriousness, I don't have TV and watch commercials and
Right.
stuff like that. So is his picture associated with that parts?
No, he does the.
Okay,
talking in the
then
commercial.
let me go back and keep making fun of you.
No, because his voice is so. Once you know him, he has a voice you will never forget. Am I right?
He's
I
like,
mean, like,
I think so too. Yeah.
I mean, his voice.
Well,
is
hell,
like
I know him, but I
Hey,
still didn't
Shark,
know he
he's
did.
like the guy that does the "You're in good hands with Allstate."
Yeah.
That would you know that guy?
I know he's one of 4 people. I can narrow it. I know Eddie Murphy.
How about this one?
He's the driver in Heat.
I'll show him my French flipper drink.
Yeah, now that one I can pick out of the stack.
Christopher.
My big boy.
Well, the Allstate guy, he's the one. He got. Was he is the one that he got really mad, right? Or no?
I don't know. I don't know. We're out of time. Thanks for listening, everybody. We love you.
Adios.
Adios, amigos. Hey, that was one of my spoilers. Eastwood spoils history before we go.
Yeah.
Mexican-American War. Spoiler. Didn't go well. Adios, amigos. This has been Eastwood Spoils History. See you later, everybody.